Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Premier Sport Fan Sports Center, and it's our watch along show tonight. It's a match between uh, Russia and Nigeria, and we are sorry for coming very, very late to you guys. And the match is already underway, and it's at the moment it's 1-1. And also with me in the studio here, I have my co-analyst and commentator here, Yermite. Yermite, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's Nigeria, Russia on the menu, and we are very sorry for coming a bit behind schedule. It was due to some background stuff we had to take care of. But we are here now, bigger and better. And yes, Nigeria on the menu, Russia, Nigeria it is. And the scoreline currently is 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. Russia took the lead in the first half through an own goal. It was an own goal actually committed by Semi Ajayi, the West Brom man, and it took 10 minutes after the introduction of Tolu Arokodare to equalize for Nigeria in the second half. And so far, how do you view the match between? First of all, let me start by asking you, Nigeria and Russia. To me, I was of the opinion, we should not be playing a country like Russia now. Russia, they are powerhouse when it comes to football, but in the last 3-4 years, I think they've been banned by FIFA.
But not for international friendly.
What it means is that this match will not be ranked by FIFA. This just
it's not a must that it should be ranked.
We should be playing. Teams are playing competitive matches. But your view on this match, actually?
Yeah, I get what you are saying, but when you look at it, there is no match that is bad. The first reason for playing a match is to make money. That's the first reason. And when you look at it, there will be some financial backup that will come from this. So you can't blame them for doing it. And it's not as if they are committing a crime. Russia is a big nation, apart from what happened, and we just hope that will go off as soon as possible. But it's a beautiful game so far. Russia, since the own goal in the 27th minute, they stuck together, and he had to take the introduction of Arokodare to actually get that goal. And I just that becomes the call on how long will it take Boniface to get that goal.
Yeah, let's talk about Boniface. To be honest, since his introduction into the Super Eagles, I think this should be the second year now that he has been introduced into the Super Eagles jersey. I can't remember seeing him scoring for the Super Eagles. And you look at his performances also. There are a lot of strikers. They don't score, but you see the work rate. The performances they are there. But for Boniface, to be honest, I've not really seen much for him. Is it time for the manager to start looking at other strikers? We've seen Tolu Arokodare. I think it should be his third match for the Super Eagles. I could remember. I think it was the qualifying for the World Cup. We saw when he came in. You could see the presence there. And looking at the match we played, I think it should be against is it Messi? I mean, the Unity Cup there. Immediately he came in, he was very, very active. You could see it. And Cyril Disse also. So is it high time for the Super Eagles manager to start looking at other strikers, or we should still continue to give
I think it's just a new coach bringing his tactics. A lot of these guys will get more minutes. And as time goes by, he was not available for the Unity Cup Boniface. Yeah. So this is just one out of many that will still come. So I'm still of the opinion that it still needs time. It's still one of the best forward we have right now in the world of football. So I think that it will come good.
Yeah, right now, our viewers, the game have ended actually, and it's 1-1. It ended 1-1 out there in Krasnodar in Russia. So 1-1, and the first goal, like we said earlier, was scored by Russia. Took the lead in the 27th minute, and it was an own goal through our own Semi Ajayi, and in the 71st minute, 71st minute, Tolu Arokodare, equalized for Nigeria. And we saw some other players also playing for Nigeria. Probably this is for the second and first time, the likes of Crisanto Uche. We actually saw about 10 minutes of him at the Unity Cup there, and today also he got a starting lineup. For our viewers didn't actually get to know the starting 11 for the Super Eagles. And for the Super Eagles, in goal we have the man from Udinese, Maduka Okoye. In defense we have Semi Ajayi. We have what's his name again, Bruno Yemachi, Bright Osai Samuel, and the captain himself, William Troost, who has been a bit absent for the Super Eagles for some time now. And in the middle of the park there,
he has been present. He was at the last World Cup qualifier. He was there. He played the home and away.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was when he under the new manager.
He has been available. He went out with I think an ACL or something, but he has been back for some time now.
So the other players are including Dele Bashiru, Rafael Yedeka, Franco Onyeka, Moses Simon, Uche, like I said earlier, and Victor Boniface. But it took the introduction of the Nigerian bench, Tolu Arokodare, to come and equalize for Nigeria. And we've seen the Super Eagles starting 11, but looking at our bench, we know some of our big names are also not there. Talking about the prolific, arguably one of the best strikers now in the world. To me, is the most wanted. Looking
not
at
the most wanted because a lot of clubs has not approached him except for Al Hilal and Galatasaray.
And he rejected them. Despite it means that he believes that there are other offers also coming in.
I think he will. I think he will.
He definitely get those offers
because the transfer window is just eating up, and some other big clubs are not going to be part of the World Club Championship, and even from the World Club Championship, some clubs will still discover some places that they need to strengthen. So
and injuries.
Injuries can pop up anytime.
And I would have loved to see Victor Osimhen be playing at the World Club Cup. That's a stage for a big player.
Yeah, but when you see, even Chelsea is interested, but the wage. You'll be surprised that none of the English clubs, even Manchester United, has not gone close to him. The wage, I think the wage is the issue, not even the sign-on fee. And the news that broke out this evening is that Ange Postecoglou has been sacked by Tottenham Hotspur. He broke that 17-year gene, but they felt maybe he didn't cover himself so much in glory that he still had to lose his job. Funnily, the club that lost the final kept their coach. The one that won.
I actually agree with what Tottenham Hotspur as the football club have done, because if you look at the performances of him this season, if it were to be teams like Chelsea,
I disagree. Madrid, you know why I disagree?
Just hold on, let me just and you make a point. But if it were to be Chelsea, do you think the manager would have been there up to now? He would have been sacked.
He will be there.
I don't think so.
Should I give you an example?
Because this is not his first season.
Should I give you an example?
Okay.
Di Matteo that won the first Champions League.
Chelsea was not start with Chelsea.
Yes, but Chelsea was not doing when they did.
Yes, because
and it was mainly when you look at Tottenham, at some point in the season, almost all their first team players were heart injured, and for players to come back injured and start, the match fitness will not be there. See, when you consider a lot of factors, I think Ange has done a good job. As far as I'm concerned, he has done a good job.
Well, as far as Germany is concerned, he said Ange Postecoglou has done a good job. But to me, I think
not the best. But management is about managing, and he looked at it. The league he cannot win. Then he prioritized the Europa League, and he did what he had to do.
Well, I think for him, I think he will be leaving Tottenham Hotspur on a high, because he has actually, make a mark. Because there is no how they are going to talk about the history of Tottenham Hotspur without mentioning him. There are a lot of managers that have spent 4-5 years.
But the full story will be out later on for us to know the real reason why.
The club actually put out a statement saying it's as a result of the performance, overall performance for the entire season. That is why. So we wish him the good luck. Viewers, we don't only talk about just Super Eagles. We talk about football generally, and as you all know now, we are in the season of transfer window, and at the moment there are a lot of players moving here and there, and including managers. And back to the Super Eagles game that just ended. I gave you guys the lineup and the bench. Actually, let me read out the bench. We have this reserve goalkeeper Obasogi, Alimi, Arokodare, Daniel Frederick, Isaac, and Ismaila, including Ogbu and Olu Shegun. But yeah, mate, I noticed one thing today, in this game. For the very first time in a long while, I actually see Super Eagles bench coming in to make impact. I can't remember, the last time, we brought on somebody from the bench, to come and make impact. But I think it's a welcome development.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's a big deal because when you look at it, it's just a friendly one. Number two, we are playing a team that most likely, as a national team, too, they are match rusty. They are not into any competitive games, and all those things are there. So yeah, when you consider all these things, then you see that's why even FIFA will not really rate this one for the FIFA ranking. So when you look at all these factors, then you say that yes, he came in score, but we are looking at the competitive game whereby we see what they can do at the end of the day. But so far, I think I still put some hopes and expectation on this new Nigeria manager.
Yeah, let's quickly talk about a few of Nigerian players that have been linked with moves with their respective clubs. I have about three names with the likes of the guy from AC Milan now, Chukwueze, and what's his name again? The talisman himself, Victor Osimhen. And I want to throw a name because I have not been seeing his name in the transfer window, and I think he should be moving from that club, which is the man that lead the line for Nigeria today. Talking about Victor Boniface. Because to be honest, if you look, I will
He's
be
on
happy
the market for the right price.
I'm of the opinion that I think he should look for another club. That you guarantee him, a starting, because we saw him when he was in Belgium. Starting
but the thing is this, you can't just, you see, the thing about it is you need competition.
Yeah,
Boniface had deep in form and came back. Injuries are not in and out. So when a player's trajectory is like that, these kinds of things happen.
So, but do you think he should still? Because
for me, I think he should leave because the coach, there's a new coach.
There's a new coach. That is what I'm trying to say. He should leave.
But sometimes you just have to wait. Maybe the new coach will want to, because it won't change the whole team. So I just let's see over time, because the news that came out today is that Boniface and Bayer Leverkusen might part ways if a right amount of money comes for him, as it is.
One other name, what do you have to say about the AC Milan man also? Chukwueze, should he also move? He recently joined AC Milan.
Yeah, for me, I think that Chukwueze too. There's a new coach, new sheriff in town. Yeah, you can wait a little. Allegri. But one thing about Chukwueze is that he didn't cover himself in glory. Too many inconsistent performance. You'll be good in a game, next 5 games you'll be questionable. And when you look at all these things, it affects the team.
Yeah,
the team needs somebody to carry the team, and Leao is not really looking like a serious player like that. So I think Chukwueze should man up and grow up. He needs to man up and grow up, and so let's see if he can actually turn up good at the end of the day.
Yeah. So mate. Victor Osimhen, you as a Nigerian now, will you be advising him to join a team in the English Premier League, or go back to the Serie A, or move to the Spanish La Liga? Which of those leagues do you think is going to
So for my advice for Osimhen, if he's listening, is that sometimes you have to make sacrifices for your dream to come true. Now, the contract the clubs in EPL will give him will be based on add-ons, performance-wise. So at least there's still a good amount that will be given to him. I think he should just cut down the wage a little. Then when he keeps performing, they can keep increasing the contract. And we saw what is happening on Mo Salah. And I think with Osimhen in the Premier League, he's going to score a lot of goals whichever club he goes to. I don't pray he goes to Manchester United. I really, really want him to come to Chelsea, because those young lads at Chelsea, they they need a leader factor. They need somebody that can keep calling, waking them up part time. Oh, do this, let's do that. Keep charging them up. And Osime has that aggressiveness and that leadership and that fighting spirit inside of him. So I think that, to me, he should just bring it down a little for his wages and come to the Premier League and eat the Premier League like a storm.
Yeah, and another name again that just come to my head. I was surprised he was not included in today's match, but we actually saw him at the Unity Cup there, talking about Kelechi Iheanacho.
Yeah, Kelechi Iheanacho, had an excuse to leave the camp,
Okay.
but he has not even been consistent. He went on loan from Sevilla, I think, to Middlesbrough,
Yeah.
and he has not even gotten some playing time. I wonder why the coach had to invite him, maybe for a larger number of players to be around. But Kelechi Iheanacho needs to wake up and start playing football again. It looks like he's beginning to lose it, his career-wise. And I don't think he's that old. I think he can still
I think
try.
he's about 27, 28.
27, 28, and I think he can still eat it up and wake up to his career and do the needful.
But to me, I think I don't know if he's still going to remain at Sevilla come next season. Probably he should be thinking about moving because the kind of games they play in La Liga is quite different from.
In La Liga will suit him more because he's not a fast tempo player. Yeah, La Liga is not a fast tempo league. It's a league whereby so many streams of passes here and there and all. So it's a league that he can thrive. I don't know what is wrong with him or what he has been up to, but I think he needs to wake up and do the needful.
Yeah,
do the needful.
We just hope him the very best of luck if he decide to remain there. And thankfully, you have another Nigeria there, that can also help him. Talking about Chudera Ejuke.
Ejuke has been on fire this season.
So
Nigeria cannot help him. I think the coaching staff
what I mean is that,
will be the ones to help him.
He met him there actually.
It doesn't
there's
matter.
always this thing, when you see your brother.
The bond, yes.
Yeah,
Your
bond,
brother is not the one trying to set the tactics. So it is about who is in charge, and the coach and the technical staffs are the ones that can help Iheanacho. And he himself, he needs to work hard, wake up, do the needful, start working, work hard, put more work into your game. Then we can start thinking of maybe you will start leading a team.
Yeah, our viewers, you heard from Yemen. Let us know in the comment section, what you think of those names we've mentioned, the likes of Samuel Chukwueze. What's his name again now?
And there's even another guy, Aroko Daris, the ISO scorer, was the ISO scorer in the Belgian league. And he will be fancying a chance of moving. And there are rumors that it's like Bayern Munich might be on the pipeline for him.
Yeah, I would love to see him. If Bayern Munich come calling, he should just join them. You could see him. He's a very good striker. He has the physical ability of a proper number 9. And he's not that kind of striker you just, push up. So let us know in the comment section if you think those names should be moving, changing clubs or, remain where they are. More especially Samuel Chukwueze and what's his name again? The man in Sevilla. The Sevilla guy, because those guys are struggling at their club. At the national team also. Yeah. Should they be moving or, staying with those clubs? But to me, I think Samuel Chukwueze should be moving. For, what's his name again? Iheanacho. He can still remain because Sevilla he recently joined them. He hasn't had a lot of playing time, and I think they also changed a manager and they battled for they survived relegation last season. But if the opportunity come calling, he can also move. So let us know in the comment section if they should be moving. And like we also said, the match we covered, the Russia-Nigeria match ended 1-1. Let us also know in the comment section what you make of the match. If you think the Super Eagles actually impressed you or Russia impressed you, and the adjustments, your advices to the manager and to the players. The Super Eagles manager and the players, they are all following Premier Sport. So drop your comment. They will definitely see it there. And Yemen, I've asked you earlier on, what you make of the match. Just give us your overall view of this match and what the Super Eagles should be doing, probably the next window.
Yeah, one thing I would like them to work on is the defending. they consider they ship in a lot of goals
Yeah,
this
like
time.
we saw the goals they considered the Unity Cup.
Unity
It was too
Cup
easy.
and even Russia and even the Zimbabwe game. So I think the coach needs to do a lot of work defensively, because when you don't ship in goals, then because they are still going to face South Africa, which will be a dead rubber game, a game that they must get all 3 points. So I think that they need to work on that. And defense is what will win you competitions at the end of the day.
Yeah, viewers, you've heard from Yemite regarding the match, and we've talked about Nigerian players. We're the ones we believe will be moving, and the one we believe will be staying at the clubs. And at this point, we would like to thank you all for joining us. And we are, like we said earlier on, we are very very sorry coming a bit late due to some technical issues, but thank you all for being with us, and don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and you know come next week we'll be having our what they call it again, our talk sports
So
show,
yeah,
and so you can also
a lot of
join us.
transfers
So
will be coming up
yeah,
in that one.
yeah, so we would like to say thank you to you guys once again, and thanks for staying with us.
Yeah, you're welcome back, viewers. Before we run off and we feel that there are some hot gist that we need to bring you up to date on the Nigeria issue. And there was something that happened. The South African midfielder that had two yellow card and prosecuted our game against Lesotho, which they later won. And according to FIFA rules, it should be a 3 point deducted. Do you think FIFA is doing right now? On
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I think they are still on it, and because the country are talking about trying to remember their opponent now. They feel agitated. They won that 3 point, and I think it's the right thing, because we could remember what this same thing happened to the Super Eagle. About that was, I
Yeah,
think,
and
yeah.
it was
So,
deducted.
and it was deducted. So I
Against
see no
Algeria.
reason. I think luckily for us now, we have
We
we
had
are
already
example.
qualified,
No, we
yeah.
are example, because if we were deducted 3 point there and we are in the group now, the same thing happening to another team, I think it should be the same thing. So hopefully it will be deducted, and that could give the Super Eagle a
chance,
very
a fighting chance.
a fighting chance. And if it happen, I think they've thrown the group open completely, and it might even affect the South African national team. When you are already thinking you have gone, and
Yeah.
they deducted that 3 point, might affect them as a team.
And when you look at it, yes, South Africa has done a whole lot of work into their national team. We've seen the progression over time. Don't you think that if the Super Eagles ends up taking that spot, it will be an injustice to South Africa?
Well, looking at, I don't think it would be an injustice. It's about who wants it more. If if the 3 point is being deducted, and they feel because the 3 point has been deducted, it's not anybody's fault. It's not Super Eagles' fault. It's not CAF's fault. It's not FIFA's fault. It's the South Africa Football Federation fault. You should be keeping tab. Taking details. of those things. When your player gets a yellow card, you are supposed to record it. Then the next match, this person is already on a yellow card. CAF or FIFA, they won't tell you. They will allow you, even they know. That this player he wants to put is already. They will just allow
they expect
you. They won't
you to do the
needful.
needful. Yeah, because the law is already there to check all these things.
Yeah, if it eventually be the reason they didn't qualify for work, I don't think they should be blaming anybody. Though they've worked hard. If you look at the group, to be honest, I think they are still the best when it comes to
they've really done well.
And there are still matches. They can still catch up despite the 3 points if it's taken away from them.
Now, for you to, it looks more likely that FIFA will take away that 3 points. More likely.
Nigerian, I hope so.
No. See, we are talking about the rule of the game.
Yeah.
The section will be interpreted, and I don't know if the Super Eagles will press into it more. I don't know, but with the way it is right now in that group, let's just assume the South Africa has what they have already. What are the chances of the Super Eagles qualifying for the FIFA Mundial 2026 in the America?
Yeah, well, the chances of the Super Eagles qualifying is very, very slim, despite that 3 points, if it's even taken. To be honest, I think we are still third or fourth on the log, behind teams like Benin Republic and to me, I think I just want to be honest. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get the top spot.
But looking at it, it is 6 points.
Yeah.
The 6 points, and we have the other guys behind us right there trying to meet up. And it's the FIFA World Cup, the money spinning competitions for national team. Now, with the way it is, Hugo Bruce, an experienced manager in African football, the coach of South Africa, and Nigeria shop-changing managers in between qualifiers. Won't you say the Nigerian Football Federation shot themselves in the foot?
Yeah, I think we did ourselves. We should have changed the manager earlier on. At the beginning, they were still, thinking, given what's his name again, the former manager, time because after the Nations Cup, thinking is going to, and we saw how, we didn't win the Nations Cup. But we did well, but we didn't actually win it. But I think that was when we should have, done the needful and changed the man. But we waited, and because to be honest, many Nigerians actually saw it coming. That you could see the tactics, the manager, it's not working. But they failed to, and that was not his first time with the Super Eagles also.
But they said NFF was broke.
But when they saw down that it's about completely going. Didn't they find the money to get the money? And to me, this manager they brought in, they didn't actually overpay him, and he wanted the job also,
Yeah,
and you could see the manager when he came, he was very, very happy. It looks like someone that really wants to work. And I think that's whatever I think that happened, I think the Super Eagles the NFF should just, give this man, time, let him, implement and do something for
them. So far for you, Eric Scheller, Unity Cup, World Cup qualifier, the Russia friendly. What do you think on his approach to the Nigerian game so far?
Well, I think he has done. He's been fair, though. I was still very, very angry. We threw away our precious 3 points. That was the last match.
In Zimbabwe. It's not us. Whatever you didn't get.
Looking at it,
football is a 90 minutes game.
Why I said so is because looking at the time.
You have to play to the end. Even die minute. Have you not seen teams lose games die minute?
Well, it was ours to lose, but we throw it away. So that was why I was, but at the same time, I watched that match. If you look at the way the Super Eagles actually played, you could see that there was a difference between the new manager and the other one. You could see that there's a pattern, not all those kick. You could see they tried to even, build up from the back, playing using the wing. And also at the Unity Cup, though the first match was a bit, probably it's because they just played, but the second match, I think they improved. Though those goals we conceded, to me was a little bit probably, could look at the defense that you see that those guys, they've not played together. Most of them are playing for the very first time. But overall, I think he has done a fantastic
Now, let's talk about the talisman of the national team, Victor Osimhen. For you, I said my part the other time, but for you, where do you think Osimhen should be going this summer transfer window?
Yeah, I would like Victor Osimhen to come to the APL. The reason is that there's a lot of spotlight on
APL.
the APL, and if he's coming to the APL and if he could join any of those traditional top six clubs in England, I think he's going to get a lot of attention. And
I want you to be specific. Which of the top teams in England?
well, at the moment, we know that a lot of teams are looking for striker. Chelsea recently got one talking about
Liam
Delap, and most players now, as a striker, if you are moving to a club, you look at the competition also. You look at I believe most of those players, they look at the club's project, what the club wants to do, and I look at it. And despite Chelsea getting Delap, there's still some talk about them getting other strikers. And for a player like Victor Osimhen, if he's coming to Chelsea, he's not coming to sit at the bench. He's coming to lead the line. If I don't know any club is going to
in the news, we've heard that Chelsea are interested in signing 2 strikers this window.
2 strikers.
Yeah, you can see that Chelsea is still in the conversation for a Kikite.
But that means both strikers, one will be sitting at the bench. That is what I'm trying to say.
The number of games that will be prosecuted this season will be much for Chelsea. There's this Club World Cup coming up. There's Champions League, there's Premier League, League Cup, and FA Cup. Still on the menu.
A player in the caliber of Victor Osimhen should be playing the Premier League and the Champions League.
Chelsea is going for those competitions, but you can't compare Liam Delap and Osimhen.
Of course,
Liam Delap is just
people
growing.
that will be making a case for Liam Delap that he has been in the league, this and that. But what I'm saying is that he can still come to Chelsea, but but he's going to take the starting spot with Chelsea. So if he comes to Chelsea, it's very good. Me as a Nigerian, I would love to see him in the EPL. And also, talking about where the clubs he can also join, Arsenal also, they are a team that also needs a striker. They need a striker. But Arsenal have not been linked with Victor Osimhen. They've been linked with Benjamin Sesko, and a lot of Arsenal fans. Even Victor Gyökeres, the conversation is not much like the way we've been saying with Benjamin Sesko. And you said earlier on you wouldn't want him to join Manchester United, but we might see him at Manchester United because they are a team also looking for a striker. Though they've signed Kunwa, which to me is not a number 9, and talks around what's his name, the guy from Cameroon, Brahim Mbeumo. And we've seen Brahim Mbeumo at times with his former club. I mean,
his current club
rather.
In the range of what Napoli wants for Victor Osimhen right now. Do you think he should be going the Saudi way?
Well, I don't think so. Last season, that was is it?
Last season. They left him. He wanted to go.
Yeah, he wanted
Napoli
to go.
had to.
I think Napoli was the reason. Then, I was very, I was happy that the.
But after the whole issue came up, the transfer window in Saudi was still open and he didn't go back for it.
Yes, and I was very, very happy he didn't actually go to the Saudi League, because if he had gone to the Saudi League and get these same numbers he got, I don't think he will be in the conversation for the African best, But look at the numbers. That is why we said he should join the EPL. If he had joined the EPL and this number, I think he will be among, talking about the Ballon d'Or, because looking at how he worked, if you watch Galatasaray matches and you saw how, what's his name, Victor Osimhen played, you will definitely see that he deserves to be in the conversation of Ballon d'Or, but because of he joined the club that is not in the Europe top 5 league, and that is the reason his goals, based on how they calculate those points, most of his goals were now slashed, and that is the reason. But to me, Saudi League, he should just forget it, and I'm very happy that he has even rejected it.
He rejected the other one. New salary now. Let's see if he will reject.
It's a lot of money. It's very, very tempting. And,
I think it was about 26 million for the last one he rejected. We've not seen we've not laid our hands on the details of this new offer, because they look to be desperate for Victor Osimhen right there. So Victor Osimhen, if he's listening, Paulo said he doesn't want you to join Saudi Arabia. Now let's talk about Boniface. Which team do you think will suit Boniface, his way of playing football?
Well, if you look at Boniface, it's quite different from Victor Osimhen. But and I don't know why Boniface plays the way he plays like that. But I look at Victor Osimhen. I think Boniface is even more, to me, Osimhen rather is lanky compared to Victor Boniface. You could see Boniface, the statue is there, but he doesn't really use it. You see how Victor Osimhen bullies defenders.
Defenders.
You know, he
But
bullies
you
them.
have to consider the way they play.
That is what
Now,
I'm trying
the
to
you
say.
know the approach to football. I think the approach was what really worked for Bayer Leverkusen. First season he came to that club, he got those number of goals, if not for injuries
Yeah.
that cut it short. A rookie of the month, I think 3 times of how many times back to back. See, Boniface, there's a particular way he plays, and now looking at the world of football in general, the big clubs, the creme de la creme of world football. What do you think Boniface should be going to right now?
Well, I think it should be like, let me first start with Bayer Leverkusen. They have a new manager, the former Manchester United manager. I think he should first of all sit down with the manager, you know, and discuss.
Eric
Because
Ten Hag.
Eric Ten Hag, yeah, he needs to first of all have a seat with the manager and you know, let him know that I want to lead this team and I want to give my best. But if the manager decides, because we've seen a lot of managers, they will say this player is not in my plan. We saw it with Antonio Conte when he joined Napoli, and even what's his name again, Lukaku at Chelsea. When you know, the manager says not in my plan, so he needs to know if he's in the manager's plan. And if he is not, you know, then I think he should be moving. And
But
you know,
to where?
yeah.
Well, any clubs that comes at the end of the day. And one of
But
the
not
things.
just any club, not just any club, not just any club. But if he's still going to stay in the German league, I think he should also look for, because there are a lot of clubs now that just, I mean, there are clubs like
Showing interest.
showing interest in the German league. He
But
can
there
still
was an
just-
offer from Saudi in January.
Yeah, but I don't think he wants to also move to Saudi. And you know, what's his name now? RB Leipzig might be losing their striker. You know, Sesko. So it can be a good replacement for them. And
Well, let's see.
yeah.
But Leipzig is not going to Europe next season. They not going
I
to
think-
Champions. And
yeah,
I think
but-
they are not going to Europe at all. They are not going to Europe at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
So,
I think so. Yeah.
looking at it, the Super Eagles has been struggling with this whole playmaker role. Now, the whole of the team right now that we have at hand, who do you think can actually slot into that role perfectly and at least bring in the goodies?
Well, it's a position that has been, you know, an issue for Nigeria for a very long time now, since the departure of the legendary
JJ
Okocha. We've not been able to fill the void, you know, left by him. And we've had a lot of players coming in. Some we have one good game, you know, the next game, you know, they completely, you know, fall apart. We've had is his cousin now, Alex Iwobi, you know, play that role for a very long, you know. At times he just, you know, he gives us a good game, you know. Most times not so good also. And of late now we've been saying is it the former Denise now, or the former Watford man, Bashir,
Dele Bashir,
Lazio, yeah. I think he played, or maybe his brother played for one of the.
He played in Turkey. From Turkey, went to Lazio.
Yeah, I know there's one Dele Bashiru in is it Denise and okay, it was Isaac Success. Sorry.
Yes, Success.
Yeah.
Success
No, but
was
the
a
brother is
striker.
actually in Watford. There's his brother is in
Dele
Watford.
Bashiru.
Dele Bashiru is in Watford presently now. So you know, we've seen him play for the Super Eagles also, and there are a lot of people that have said, you know, he should be taking that spot. But to me, I think so far we've not really had any other person. But I still think we should stick with Alex Iwobi. Though he's not the best we've got, but we just have to continue with him till we are able to get somebody that will take over.
But looking at the game against Zimbabwe and Rwanda, the coach tilted towards making Ademola Lookman play that role.
Yeah.
Now, for your own take, how did he perform taking up the playmaker role?
Yeah, I think looking at those matches, Ademola Lookman actually tried, but we know that is not his preferred position. And I want to believe, because the manager wants to accommodate a lot of attacking players, including Moses Simon. That is why he actually, you know, up to. And we've seen that with Alex Iwobi at his club. You know, he has been very, very good for his club, and we see he has been the position he's been playing for the club. I think that's what the manager wanted. But for Ademola Lookman, I don't think that is his best position. I want to continue to see him occupy the left side of the attack rather than see him playing as the number 9. Those games he actually tried, but to me, I believe he's better off as the number 11.
So, for you, the goalkeeper Onwabali and this Maduka. Which one would you prefer as the number one?
Well, we've seen both of them play for Super Eagles. When it comes to club level, there is a different scenario.
Ball game, yeah.
Different scenario. But when it comes to the Super Eagles, I think Stanley Onwabali has actually covered himself in glory.
In glory.
Though he himself, there are one or two,
No, your goalkeeper is perfect, actually.
But I think the errors coming from Maduka Okoye is
more.
But he's still young.
But he has grown too.
He has grown, yeah. But that's why when it comes to goalkeeper, I think Maduka Okoye is still very, very young, because we know goalkeeper they are always
grow into that.
When it comes to goalkeeper,
it
at
takes
29, 30, that was even when
the
they
peak period.
Yeah, and it's still very young. But for now, I think Stanley Onwabali should continue to be the number one of the Super Eagles.
So now, talking about the journey to 2026, before we wind up on the show today, do you see the Super Eagles qualifying for the World Cup, realistically speaking?
Well, to be honest, I've said it earlier on, it's going to be very, very difficult.
Do you see them qualifying for the World Cup?
At the moment, I don't see it happening. To be honest, I just want to be honest.
To be honest, to be realistic, you have to just say that it is right there. And yes, you can join us for our Talk Sport. 7:30 is on Wednesdays, midweek Talk Sport, and also on Fridays 7:30 the week.